Hey everyone, Pokevic here, and welcome to my channel. Let's jump right in. Today we're going to be talking about Tomokazu Komiya, a renowned illustrator in the Pokemon trading card game. His artwork has gained widespread recognition among collectors, investors, and I dare say the general public as well. Komiya's journey with Pokemon began in February of 2000 with the release of Neo Genesis in Japan. Neo Genesis was the inaugural set to feature Generation 2 Pokemon from Gold and Silver in the Johto region. Komiya's contribution to the set included 5 cards, 4 of which were trainer cards: Double Gust, Moo Moo Milk, my personal favorite, Pokemon March, and Focus Band. These trainer cards showcase Komiya's unique style and potential. His ability to convey stories through single frame cards is truly remarkable. For instance, Pokemon March immerses you in a scene under a tree with Chikorita, Totodile, and Hoppip, evoking a sense of joy and camaraderie. Similarly, Moo Moo Milk recreates an image of plotting with Clefairy, ready to indulge in some delicious milk. While his trainer cards were impressive, it was his first basic Pokemon in Neo Genesis that truly set him apart from the rest. This adorable little Slowpoke was the catalyst for Komiya's rise to fame. Komiya is known for his practice of primitivism, an art movement that aims to recreate the experiences of a more primitive time. In this instance, he uses primitivism to place Slowpoke beneath an apple tree, creating a sense of isolation and hunger. We are left with the impression that this world revolves around this hungry, chubby Slowpoke yearning for that apple. Neo Discovery, released in June of 2001, was the second major expansion of cards from the Neo era. It introduced Generation 2 Pokemon from Gold and Silver. Komiya's contribution to Neo Discovery was limited to a single illustration of a Politoed. Although small, this marked Komiya's first holo card. In my opinion, the holo version of this card is more visually appealing. It allows the background colors to play a significant role in the full illustration. Neo Revelation, released on September of 2001, was the third main expansion of the Neo series. It was the first set to feature shiny Pokemon and included the 3 legendary beasts as booster packs, with Raikou being my personal favorite. While Komiya was not involved in illustrating shiny Pokemon, he did contribute a remarkable set of 4 cards. He demonstrated his skill in working with a single frame while maintaining a sense of continuity. In this set, we witness Snubbull observing Butterfree's flight with awe, Jinx standing ominously by an open window, ready to ensnare you in the darkness, Octillery fighting valiantly in what could only be described as his final desperate attempts, and Delibird sneaking away with the children's Christmas presents in an expression wicked and mischievous as ever. Last but certainly not least, we arrive at the 4th and final installment of the Neo series, titled Neo Destiny. Released in February of 2002, this set remarked the final appearance of the first edition stamp. Notably, it introduced light Pokemon renowned for their higher HP and altruistic nature. These light Pokemon coexist with dark Pokemon, leading us into what I like to describe as Komiya's dark, scary, creepy era. Here we witness a significant shift in Komiya's artistic style. Previously, his illustrations depicted Pokemon in a lighter, more cheerful manner. However, in Neo Destiny, Komiya amplifies the creep factor by portraying his Omastar attacking you through the card, his Ladybug weeping behind a rock, possibly hiding from a hungry Houndoom, and a distressed Elekid trapped between 2 rocks, struggling to escape. Komiya also had the chance to continue his Slowpoke line with illustrations for Light Slowbro and Dark Slowking. He reminisces about the simpler times of a derpy Slowbro, happily frolicking through the flowery meadows. As with any king, Dark Slowking exudes an aura of pure tyranny, ready to conquer the Pokemon world. The lightning shadows and sinister grin in his illustration truly bring this Slowking to life. Komiya's vending machine cards are among his most prized illustrations. Unlike most cards that come in packs, these cards were exclusively available from vending machines in Japan. They were printed on a sheet of paper with the cards stuck like stickers, requiring players to peel them away to reveal their contents. Komiya's art for this set is simply adorable. Pokemon like Chansey are depicted with such a large and joyful smile, while Growlithe is snug as a bug under a table, ready for a nap. What sets this set apart is Komiya's decision to draw their eyes as cute round little dots. This simple choice gives each illustration a sense of sweetness and innocence, enhancing the charm of each Pokemon. Pokemon Versus was released in Japan in 2001 and was the sole set released during that era. As a result, it's challenging to label it as an era with only one set. Unfortunately, there was no plans to release an English counterpart, so one was never produced. In any case, Komiya's role in the Versus set was to create artwork for Janine's Pokemon. I believe he was an excellent choice for this task, as his work effectively conveys a darker tone. Janine's Pokemon include creepy crawlers and poison Pokemon, with the exception of Shuckle. Among these, I would argue that his Beedrill stands out. His ability to depict motion conveys a sense of fear, suggesting that this Beedrill is on the hunt for its next meal. Expedition base set was released in the US in September 2002. This set was introduced a groundbreaking feature, the use of Nintendo's e-reader. Players could access a Pokemon's Pokédex data and even play a minigame. Additionally, Expedition introduced technical machines into the game, allowing players to attach these cards to their Pokemon and unlock previously unavailable moves. With a name like Expedition, Komiya took that inspiration and infused it into his artwork. His 6-card set is an incredible display of his talent, as he captures each Pokemon in its natural habitat. From Magikarp scaling up a stream to its breeding grounds to Clefairy singing under the moonlight, these cards are among my favorite of Komiya's work. He masterfully immerses us into a Pokemon nature documentary, making us feel like we're on an expedition. Moving on, we explore Aquapolis, the second set released in January of 2003 during the e-card era. Aquapolis introduced a unique concept, Crystal Pokemon. These special cards allowed players to alter a Pokemon's type based on the energy attached to it during a turn. Komiya's illustrations for these 4 fighting Pokemon are nothing short of exceptional. Each card depicts them in intense training sessions, showcasing their strength and determination. His ability to convey depth allows us to understand the power of Hitmonchan's punch and the speed of Tyro's sprint. Skyridge, the third and final expansion of the e-card era, was released in May of 2003. It was also the last set to be produced by Wizards of the Coast, making it highly sought after. Skyridge feels like a continuation of the Expedition story, as Komiya continues to showcase each Pokemon in its natural elements. In my opinion, the e-card era is among Komiya's greatest works. To me, it makes the cards all the more special to be able to see a Pokemon in more than just a pose, but rather in its true essence. And with that, we embark on the EX era of Pokemon cards. This era boasts incredible sets like Unseen Forces, Legends, and Deoxys. With such a vast collection, Komiya was able to not only expand upon his work, but also freely experiment with his art style. EX Sandstorm, the second set released, featured Pokemon from the Ruby and Sapphire games, or Generation 3. It was released in September of 2003. Komiya appears to have a fascination with derpy Pokemon, as we see him take over the entire Lotad evolution line. If I'm not mistaken, during this generation, Komiya decided to adopt a more general approach, as the public wasn't particularly fond of his art at the time. We see him depict both Lotad and Ludicolo in a more basic manner, while he seems to express his longing for his own artistic style in Lombre's eyes. EX Dragon, released in November of 2003, was the third expansion pack for the EX era. The expansion's focus is clearly on Dragon-type Pokemon, and it continues to feature Pokemon from the Ruby and Sapphire games. Komiya has been consistently releasing excellent cards one after the other. However, in my opinion, his contributions to the EX Dragons set is somewhat lacking. While he could have effectively used Whiscash to convey a story, not all his cards are of the same caliber. The 5th EX expansion, titled EX Hidden Legends, continues to focus on Ruby and Sapphire, but introduced the Regis on the cover of each pack. Komiya makes a triumphant return with Hidden Legends. His Loudred and Exploud are exceptionally well crafted, effectively capturing an ear-shattering personalities of both these Pokemon. Phoebus, content and minding his own business, even in the midst of a rain, is portrayed with remarkable detail. Komiya's use of irregular shapes allows him to convey the overwhelming sense of despair displayed by Whismur. EX Fire Red and Leaf Green was the 6th expansion released in the EX era. It made its way out to the public in August of 2004 and was based off the Game Boy Advance games Fire Red and Leaf Green. With this set, Komiya made a nostalgic nod to his earlier work. In my opinion, his masterful use of dark and unsettling smiles truly embodies his talent for portraying Pokemon in a creepy and eerie setting. The group of Executes getting ready to execute that unfortunate broken egg, Weeping Bell spits on your eye for simply giving it an unusual stare. Team Rocket Returns makes its comeback as the 7th expansion to the EX era. Released in November of 2004, Team Rocket Returns features a new form of Pokemon known as Star Pokemon. They were basically a shiny Pokemon with an alternate art and a gold star foil next to their name. Komiya is a master of creating an unsettling feeling of fear through his artwork. Imagine you're strolling through the woods when, suddenly, you're confronted by a colossal blue beetle, its eyes fixed on you, ready to do who knows what. The masterful use of perspective and angles creates an unsettling feeling, while his Houndour, adorable and hungry expression, is quite endearing. The 8th major expansion of the EX era introduced Deoxys. Released in February of 2005, this set included Pokemon from Pokemon Emerald and was released simultaneously with the Pokemon movie Destiny Deoxys. Komiya's Numbeline effectively portrays the fiery rage concealed within that small green hump. His Camerupt is ready to crush you for mocking his little green hump. His art style in this set appears to retain his signature style while presenting each Pokemon in a more conventional manner. His Pelipper is a great example of this. Unseen Forces took a step back and featured Pokemon from Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Released in August of 2005, the reverse foil cards began to feature a Pokeball pattern. His contributions to the Unseen Forces is impeccable. Each of these cards effectively conveys the Pokemon's emotions. His Chunky Miltank expresses worries about potentially rolling down the hill, while his Sudowoodo is preparing to strike you in the face for even considering using your HM cut on it. Introduced in October of 2005, the EX Delta species brought about a significant change in the trading card game. Unlike previous Pokemon types, the Delta species introduced a new hidden type, disrupting the existing meta. Komiya didn't get an opportunity to showcase his artwork with any of the Delta species, but he made the most of the 4 cards he illustrated. Although none of them were particularly memorable, I'm glad he was given the chance to illustrate Drowsy, as it aligns best with his artistic style. EX Legend Maker, the 12th expansion of the EX era, was released in February of 2006. It takes place in the Mirage Forest, home of the legendary Pokemon Mew. Here we witness Komiya employing his unique perspective, capturing both the Sentret and Furret from below, making us feel insignificant in comparison to their towering presence. We also see Kecleon enjoy a leisurely afternoon stroll through the jungle, diligently making his way to his next meal. On the other hand, Grimer lives up to his moveset, literally ascending as he basks in the sunlight, intensifying his pungent odors. EX Crystal Guardians featured both regular and Delta species Pokemon. Released in August of 2006, this set maintained its focus on Pokemon from Generation 3. Komiya's use of movement conveys the message that he is trying to show. Even the intricate details such as the flowers swaying in the wind beneath Cacnea evoke a sense of liberation. The sweat running down the Doug Trio's face symbolizes their endurance. Despite being a trio, they still grapple with the challenges of navigating through the dirt. Dragon Frontiers continues its Generation 3 feature as it's set on a faraway island full of Delta species Pokemon. Komiya didn't participate in the previous Delta species sets, but finally got his chance to showcase his skills here. Each of these 4 cards depicts a Pokemon as a different type, and with Komiya's ability to work with colors, we can truly sense the new type and the aura they emit. Power Keepers, the 16th and final set of the EX main expansion, was released on February 2007. It included Generation 3 Pokemon and the Elite Four. With an era coming to an end, we've witnessed Komiya's artistic evolution in several notable ways. His remarkable talent lies in his consistent depictions of each Pokemon in their natural habitat. The playful nature of a Skitty is evident, while the aloofness of a Slackoth is perfectly captured as it lazily lies on its back. While Komiya's contributions to the TCG have been subject to controversy at times, his unique artistic style has garnered him a dedicated following among players who eagerly collect his specific works of art. If you've made it this far, I just want to extend my gratitude for joining me on this journey to start a Pokemon channel. I hope to grow a community that appreciates every card that is ripped from a pack and not just the rarest, trendiest ones. If you want to see more of this content, drop a like and feel free to subscribe. If you want to discuss your favorite artist, leave a comment letting me know who I should cover next. Stay tuned for part 2 as we cover Komiya's more modern cards. Thanks again for joining me and have a great day.